Is it a beer of peace?
No, yep, actually it is. It's a beer of peace because it didn't explode.
Aww.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's mediocre. Just like this podcast. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode, I can't remember, of Radio Rothingham, the world's least professional podcast on the internet.
It's definitely at least 5.
At least.
Mm-hmm. We're in the top 10 of worst things anyone has ever imagined.
Yeah, that you know, we've gone full clickbait. So this is the top 10 worst podcasts on the internet.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe 9 and 11.
Number 11. That would be Radio Rothingham. In a top 10 worst podcasts, Radio Rothingham would be number 11. Or -1.
Now you're just confusing me.
Well,
Speaking
usually you count down. So, you know, 1 would be the worst, but we're -1.
I'm pretty sure that's not how numbers work.
I'm pretty
It
sure
is.
it is.
It is now. I just decided that, and that's the rule. So, yeah, I already sketched this up, so I'll be, you know, inking and coloring this during the course of this episode. And also, this series just finished its first season, so you can just go and watch it. Link will be in the description. I'm done shelling the show. Let's move on. So yeah, we had a little break for a week because both Xaverius and I were busy on Friday and the weekend. So yeah, considering that we can do a podcast without me because, you know, I'm the most important person of this podcast, which isn't saying much. Yeah.
And the most Dutch.
And the most Dutch. I'm definitely the most Dutch. I mean, even more Dutch than Knightley because, you know, he's in Belgium, that traitor. But yeah, we are here to bring you 1.5 hours of entertainment, I guess. So
Or
yeah,
1.
or 1, or maybe just half an hour. Maybe we're just like, you know what, fuck it, just half an hour, and then we just give up.
Well,
Like,
I
yeah.
put the thing into the thing, but the thing fell off.
Oh, good job.
Yes, indeed.
You know, there's apparently some relatively not awful news.
Well, to start off, I actually haven't heard of any, you know, explodey things and killings and beheadings and other atrocities in Western Europe in the past few weeks.
Actually, you are wrong. Most for the first part because we were 2 weeks in the bumfuck nowhere, and second thing, during this week they arrested like 3 potential terrorists. They even have apparently they fake the fake passports were from the same forgery that the ones that the actual terrorists had.
Yeah,
But
but
that
that's
is
not
true.
actual terrorism. That, you know, those are noobs because they didn't actually manage to carry out their job. They're actually scrubs.
That's
Yeah.
actually good news back.
And
That
that
means
is
they were
pretty-
paying enough attention to capture people. But also,
You know, instead of being the French PM and being all like, yeah, you're just gonna have to accept that, you know, your loved ones or whatnot.
Just learn to live with it. Not the big deal.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
dear
Well,
Mr.
that-
France Parliament man, I cannot live with terrorism due to the fact that when a bomb explodes next to me, my life ends. Is the exact opposite of being able to live with it.
Yeah, but now say it in French.
Je ne want to die.
Je ne parle pas français.
Yeah, but that was a pretty goddamn terrible thing to say when he was like, yeah, you just have to deal with the fact that, you know, terrorism exists now and you may die and we can't guarantee your safety. That's
the
a
French
pretty...
have actually started doing something about the exploding population of Syrian refugees in uncontrolled refugee camps.
You mean the one in Calais?
Yes, they bulldozed it.
Wait, they seriously did that? They
But
built
they
those
bulldoze
entire
it with
camp?
the refugees inside.
Let me see. I was just
You
looking
mean
at it.
like they do in SimCity 2K when you select a plot and you like bulldoze the zone, but instead of bulldozing, everything just explodes. even if there's just one tree on it.
Actually,
It was
wait, no.
always. Well,
Well,
I think it wasn't the Calais camp, but they've been. There was basically a homeless camp kind of thing under a French overpass. It wasn't Calais, but I don't think it was the biggest section of the Calais camp. But they did shift them. They got in there. They brought in the bulldozers and the water cannons and the polite people, and they said you're going to have to go somewhere else now.
So there was an entire camp under an overpass.
Yes.
well,
That's what
basically,
it
they also had
looks
to.
like from the screenshots.
Yeah, I did see a video of the A16 that goes from Belgium to Calais, and it's fucking depressing because I did go down that road back in 2010, and it was perfectly normal. And you watch the video and you have these people just walking across the motorway, and
Artrix, it's no longer 2010, it's 2016.
exactly, it's a current year, and that's a problem. The problem is that it's too current year. The year is too current.
Artrix is
my-
having fun.
In my days, we didn't got no refugees walking down the motorway.
Yeah, Artrix garners a lot of fun from the suffering of other people in France.
Well, Grandpa, you just have to live with it.
I refuse, so that's why I'll I don't know. I'll become the next Thatcher.
And then
Because-
Artrix was a skinhead.
Well, give it a few more years and I'll be a skinhead. I don't think that's something I have much of a decision to make. That's just gonna happen. I'm genetically predisposed.
Oh, you are going to end up like Trump. Just combing over.
No. Trump doesn't come over. Doesn't he wear like a toupee or something?
No, he doesn't. There was even a video lately. There was a video. He was at a talk show, and the host was like, "Can I ruffle your hair?"
And it was like, fuck off.
No.
Yeah.
He did let the guy ruffle his hair, and it's real hair. He has great hair, tremendous hair.
But
But-
even more interesting news, other than Trump and his lack of a toupee or whether his toupee exists or not.
Hey, that's important.
Yeah, these are the important issues. Like politics, that's unimportant. But whether Trump has hair or not, that's very important.
I wish Hillary had as great hair as Trump does.
I mean,
Come on.
it's more. I mean, Trump's hair is more important than Hillary's apparent trouble existing.
Apparently, she has pneumonia, which would maybe explain her being sick for a few weeks, maybe a month. But there's video evidence of Hillary acting very strangely going back more than a few weeks. So
Yeah, I'll be very honest because up until this point I just brushed it off as okay, that's just dumb conspiracy talk and everyone's making a big deal out of Hillary's health. I'm like, I don't care. It sounds like nitpicking. But then you see the videos and the evidence that's piling up, and then this ammonia thing, and she's just collapsing because it's a comfy 70 degrees Fahrenheit, whatever the hell that is in Celsius. It's probably like 50, but
it's not quite that high.
no, I know, I was joking. But
5.
it is very concerning that you're considering to elect this woman to be the president. I mean, and don't get me wrong, they were giving the same shit to McCain when he was running for president.
Yeah, saying he was sick and old and wouldn't
Yeah,
be fit for office.
But
McCain
you know what his
was
reaction was? He released his medical records. He was like, look, these are my medical records. You can have a look.
Hillary doesn't even know that she sent emails to people. And there's no evidence of any emails ever being sent from a non-secure server. None at all.
They've been deleted from the internet. Come on.
Yes, because because
And then
it's easy to do that.
come on, Panboy. The very secure informations are very secure because when they discovered that the emails have been hacked, that is really good idea to, you know what, you gotta let all the people know that they have new passwords. You know, all the people that work for Hillary and whatnot, they need new passwords. So we're gonna email them.
Makes perfect sense to me.
Email the new password over the secure email system.
Yeah.
But
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, I deal with some security people as a part of my job, and well, yeah, that's totally possible. Like, we have a client, and he has a security guy, and the security guy, well, network security guy, devised the best possible plan to protect a server. He just turns it off when the work ends.
Oh, that's
Well-
actually a pretty good plan.
Yeah,
To be perfectly honest, that is the best. That's one of the
but
best ways to
then
secure something.
one of our workers who is hired to do their salaries is like, okay, I'm going to do the salaries, and then she can connect because the server is off and nobody is in there.
Yep.
But
Then-
yeah, if you want to make sure
then they
that
have
the
no
computer
salaries.
isn't being hacked into, just turn off and have it not connected.
Well, see, this is why on a local network you set up layers on your network. So you separate your internal network from your internet access network. But then you have all the people in your office complaining that they don't have easy access to the internet.
Yeah, because you gotta check your Facebook shit when you're working.
Which is why you then use a proxy. So then they
Yes.
can only access the internet through the proxy, which means people from the outside can't really get in. Well, they can, but you know, it makes it harder.
The moment you're connected to the internet in one way or another, you're there's a risk, and all
Yes.
depends on how much of a risk you're willing to take.
Better not use them internets at all. Just run Windows XP everywhere, and
Yes.
Just use carry pigeon. You want to send a document, just attach a bit to a carry pigeon.
And just run Windows XP on a segregated network, and then someday somebody will bring an USB key with MS Blast on it, and your entire internal network will go down because XP's never been updated because you had no internet, and you'll all be very confused. It's like, oops. But speaking of taking down entire states with shitty floppy disk viruses, apparently, the Syrians, I mean, the Islamic State have begun to get mildly upset with the fact that America can use something called a Predator drone to just blow them up whenever they want.
didn't their spokesperson die?
Yes, he was looking out the rearview mirror and he was making an evasive maneuver to let a car pass him on the inside, but then he realized that wasn't actually a car, it was a Hellfire missile. It went through his rear windscreen and,
Through him.
Predator, yeah, well, Predator Hellfire missiles are not actually very friendly, and you don't want to actually share your car with them. They are loaded with something like the 200-ton equivalent of TNT, which is about enough to take down an attack helicopter that's armored. So a sports SUV doesn't really have much armor, really.
I guess Allahu wasn't Akbar enough.
So ISIS have actually negotiated a ceasefire with the Americans and the Russians, which I find funny. I really do.
It's like, oh shit, they can strike us whenever they please.
Yeah, they can just blow you up whenever they want. It still begs the question to me why America and Russia don't just do a full ground invasion, invade these countries altogether. But I think ISIS are beginning to feel the hurt of the sustained bombing campaign by the Russians, and the fact that Predator drones and Hellfire missiles combined can basically just kill anyone they want whenever they want from anywhere, and ISIS can't do anything about it.
You're right. You're right about the Russians, because the difference between Russian approach and USA approach is basically US got informed that somewhere in the mountains there's an ISIS base. They're like, we need more information. And then the Russians figure out that there's somewhere in the mountains there's an ISIS base. So they just go and bomb the entire mountain range.
Comrade, we knew there's ISIS in the mountains. What will we do? Just drink some vodka and blow up the entire mountain. It'll be fine. It'll be grandiose.
One of these days, I wouldn't be surprised if we just hear something that goes along the following lines. We've discovered an ISIS stronghold very deep under mountains. What do? And the Russians say, guys, you know, we could just drop a SAR bomb on it. It's miles from anywhere. I mean, it wouldn't be a problem.
You're gonna hit like 5 shepherds.
I mean, it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's not like we're going to be bombing a city. We don't know exactly where they are, so let's just drop the biggest bomb in history on it, and problem solved.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. I would even say it's problematic, except Nori. But hear me out. But they still have a SAR bomb. For all we know, for all we know, that was the only one they ever got, and they never bothered to make a new one. They were like,
I'm pretty sure they have at least 5 of them, but I have no idea where.
Yeah, I mean, you could just go on a hiking holiday in the Russian wilderness one day and just trip over a nuclear bunker. Okay, plutonium's half-life isn't actually all that long, so maybe the SAR bombs wouldn't be quite at their original yield anymore.
Yeah, it would still be a big explosion.
Instead of being to destroy 2 cities, they are now able to destroy 1.8 cities.
Yeah, see, that's another advantage of these bombs. They are ecologically friendly.
The thing about the SAR bomb is actually it's not a normal atomic bomb that is fueled by fissure. It's actually a fusion bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you need still an atomic bomb to have enough energy to trigger the fusion, but pretty much you only need the atom bomb to trigger it. So but you need to look up the half-life of I think of the components of the fusion bomb, like deuterium and tritium.
Yeah, that stuff probably has even shorter half-lives. The more unstable, and the more dense the atomic matter, the faster it degrades back into smaller, into less dense atomic matter. But it's all still exploding.
Yeah, that's
Kaboosh.
the main point.
Like I watched a video recently where a guy tried to understand how one might make a mini nuke a la Fallout, and he said, well, with modern refining methods, it would be quite easy to make a grenade-sized nuke. All you'd have to use is this element called californium. Its particle density is so high, you could use a hammer to make it go nuclear.
That kind of reminds me of this kid in the United States that was like, hey, I'm a huge nerd, so I'm gonna go and collect all these fire detectors. I'm just gonna collect some radioactive material, and all was fine and dandy until the government kind of showed up and like, no, I can't do that.
That kid, I think he made a fusion reactor in his garden or in his shed.
That's
something
something like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, out of fire detectors,
Mm-hmm.
which works. But actually, just making a fusion reactor is not that hard. Making a fusion reactor that generates more energy than it consumes is hard.
Yes.
Because
And that's kind of what they're trying to do now, is to get one that actually generates electricity.
Because you see, the trouble is you need to make a very, very intense magnetic field to control the reaction, and creating a magnetic field that's strong enough to stop an explosion from escaping is it's pretty hard. Especially when the explosion you're trying to contain is literally a fusion explosion. It's like, so it's like a literal magnetic force field. I mean, it's something out of sci-fi that they're doing here, made with a wall of plasma and magnets.
Fucking
I'm
marionettes.
sure that in hindsight we'll all be like, oh, so that's how they do it. But yeah, first you gotta figure this shit out. That's with just about any invention, you know. Even with computers nowadays, it's like, oh yeah, of course you would do it like that. But back then, it's like, well, I don't know. We don't even know what silicon is, so we're just gonna use these vacuum tubes. So
Yeah, but the rest of it also had silicon in it. Hell, the vacuum tubes were made of glass. That has silicon in it.
yeah, it was really rough and big and bulky, and they consumed this metric shit ton of electricity because they were all, you know, it was essentially running a room full of regular light bulbs, but you know, vacuum tubes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any vacuum tubes.
But you know,
Okay.
going back to the ceasefire, the
Oh,
real question is, even if the rebels do agree to a ceasefire and stop trying to what take over all of the world, what's to stop the militants or like the extremists that have already left the country from continuing to do random acts of terrorism everywhere? I mean, it's very much a ideological difference between Islamic culture and everywhere else's culture. So
Even within Islam, there are differences. Like the ISIS is mostly concerned with, I think, was Sunni Islam, whereas a lot of Muslims are actually the other flavor of Islam. So like,
yes, I think.
Yeah,
But basically, in
it's
this,
Shia and Sunni. So the ISIS
yeah.
is, I think they're Sunni, but correct me if I'm wrong. The Sunnis are like, okay, we ISIS, and you all have to be ISIS, and then the Sunnis are like, fuck off, and then like, we kill you, and then they kill them.
It's like
Yeah.
in school when you have a book and the teacher asks, "What did the author mean by the text?"
Exactly.
Then
So
you have kids arguing, and that's exactly what's happening in Islam. They're arguing about what the hell was meant by the Quran texts.
So even though we have these little things in Paris and whatnot, where people are being killed because of Islam, most
But
people that die from ISIS are actually Muslims because they're
but
all
Artrix, you should remember that even though they can't really agree on what Quran is about, it's unassailable.
Of course. It's kind of funny. A few, I mean, I think it was like 100 or 200 years ago. There was a sect of Christianity in America. It was called the Good Christians.
oh
Huh.
god.
The Good Christians would go around practicing the Bible as it was written.
Sounds great.
Isn't that similar to the Baptist church thing? The
It may be, but
No, they just hate funerals.
that
the rest of the country's reaction to the Good Christians existing was to attempt to re-educate them as hard and fast as possible, because the Good Christians was back then, today, what ISIS is to the Islamic faith, because the Good Christians were just going around hard and enforcing their Christian law with brutal efficiency on anyone. And yes, if you do literally interpret the Bible as it's written, for one, it's full of contradictions, and for two, it's very mean to people it doesn't like.
that's what a lot of people these days kind of forget.
Yes.
That they don't seem to realize, Christianity is actually pretty fucked up.
Oh shit, I shouldn't wear mixed clothes and eat oysters. What is this?
I'll eat
Yeah,
all the oysters.
The thing is, the New Testament is a bit of a contrary thing, because it's written by about 6 different people, and
About at least 600 years later.
yeah, yeah. But the bits about Jesus, Jesus is like this nice, forgiving guy who would
Yeah.
walk into a building, seeing people performing sodomy, and he'd be like, "Yo, let be, let live, live and let live, and let them chill, turn the other cheek, and get ass pounded.
He was pretty angry about money lending, though.
He was like he walked into a temple. He's like, "You guys are trading money? Fuck this shit!" Flips all the tables and tells them to get out.
What would Jesus do? Huh.
Isn't that something that happens in all Abrahamic religions where there's a specific word for this? Like basically lending money, making money with money is illegal in all.
Well, it's illegal in Christianity, but it's legal in Jewishanity. So
that was one of the reasons why.
That's why all the medieval kings borrowed money from Jews,
and
when it came time to return the money, they just drove the Jews back out from the country.
For fuck's sake, the word is right on the tip of my tongue. There's a specific word for this.
So I actually heard the word earlier today, but I can't remember what it was.
And I know what the word is in Czech, but that won't help you.
Because I was listening to a podcast by an Irishman.
Is it usury?
Yes.
Or usury?
Yeah,
I don't
usury.
know.
There we go. That's the word I was looking for.
This Irish person
basically making money by
from
selling money. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is basically that you're, making your living by letting your wealth create more wealth, but just lending out money, not actually providing to the community by doing actual work.
Mm-hmm.
Really, work.
Because it's a trade that doesn't actually add to society at all.
Mm-hmm.
But it sort of does, though. When you're lending money to people, they can then pursue their own dreams, and they can create wealth from the wealth you've lent them, which does forward society.
Yeah, that's kind of the double-edged sword when it comes to borrowing money.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the modern societies and how money's created these days, that doesn't really hold up anymore. Because these days, the creation of money is basically just, okay, you want a loan? You're like, yes. Okay, sign this contract. Okay, so now you just put your house that you don't own yet as collateral. Now you get a nice loan that we create by just punching some numbers in a computer. And now we created wealth.
Then you're paying off the loan for the next 700 years.
Plus, interest.
Yes,
so
interest.
So the bank essentially just gets free money.
Artrix,
and interest and.
Talking about economy, there's been an interesting thing with the interests lately.
Okay.
Oh.
They are lowering them.
Of course they are.
Because they want people to borrow money.
Mm-hmm.
Except they are lowering them across everything, which means that if you actually put money in the bank, the interest is also going to be lower than it was before. And it actually went so far that some banks are so full of money because nobody is borrowing still, that they are actually giving you negative interest if you put some money in there.
Yeah,
That's not right.
I'll be pretty fucked once it happens to my money, because I actually got quite some money in savings.
Oh no.
The interest is pretty low right now. It's like 0.3%.
Yeah, and then there's the bank. We have 0.35%. Come to us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? That's not even 1%.
I remember the good old days when I got a deposito or whatever it's called. It's basically when you tell the bank, okay, I got a few grand, here it is. I won't need it in 2 years. So in 2 years, give it back to me, and then you get like 3% or 4% interest.
What was it?
Do whatever.
There was a European bank that opened up like a decade ago, while everything was still at the peak of the high economy just before the crash. I think it was called Ramble or something, and they were offering 7% interest on long-term savings accounts.
That would have been great.
It was huge.
These days, you'd be lucky if you make that kind of money when you're investing money, investing it.
It was called Rabble or something.
I
wonder what happened to them actually. Were they bought out?
Probably went out of business.
Mm-hmm.
You do when you're giving money away for free.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have a question. If those banks are so full of money they have to give negative interest, why do they still want people to borrow the money?
Negative interest seems like a very silly idea that would have people pulling money out of their banks pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what's happening because for some reason, people just they don't just spend everything and start borrowing from the banks. No, they just go and take the money and stuff it in their pillowcase, and that's it.
Where it's probably safer.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's better than if you like put 100,000 euro in the bank and in 10 years you have only 90,000 euro or something. I don't know. That was a ballpark value. Don't quote me on that.
Anyways, we've been going on for about an hour now, so
Good. Let's end it.
Here's a little something that happened not too long ago.
Uh-oh.
So there was this thing in Seattle. I don't even know what it was. I don't really care.
That's specific, yes.
Mm.
Do go on.
This
very
guy
nice
was just standing there, and then this British chick walked up to him. Apparently, it was
Brash.
a chick of
I actually
color.
know what was going on.
Yes.
There was a TV
Oh.
team interviewing him because his daughter was a heroin addict and she was in recovery.
Okay.
Okay,
And?
so
They
so
were
it was an
interviewing him about that.
Okay,
Yes.
so this woman walked up to him, and she was like, "What's your name, mate? What's your name?" And he was like, "My name is Humongous."
Humongous what?
I think you mean
Humongous what? Humongous. Humongous what? What? And then he sort of just walked away, and she was making this whole drama about how he sexually harassed her because he said his name is Humongous.
Well, don't forget he pointed at himself while saying that.
Because he was a fatso.
Yeah.
That's fat shaming.
Now, I have to ask a question here because I'm not clear on a few facts. The definition of the word harassment. Okay. So, as far as I know, harassment is defined as unprovoked and repeated interactions with a person that are unwanted, and they are repeated. It's important that it is said that they are repeatedly actions that keep happening.
Well,
This is what harassment is. So if a girl goes up to a guy and asks a question and gets an answer they don't like, and then repeatedly keeps asking the same question over and over again while shouting profanities and making accusations on that person, would that not be what would be defined as harassment?
Not really.
Are you sure? Because I think from my understanding of the dictionary that is indeed what harassment is.
Yeah,
but
it
not
depends
from
on
the
it depends
direction
on
of
the
the
kind of
guy.
harassment, of course, because she claimed she got sexually harassed, but of course, in the end, she was the one harassing the people because she first annoyed, kept yelling at him. Then security got in. Then she claimed, yeah, you are just dressed up as security. You are not real security. Then later on, she got escorted out of it, and then she claimed the security person sexually
Those
harassed her.
poor security men, they were like, "What's the ruckus here?" And she's like, "The guy, he pointed at himself and called himself humongous."
I'm pretty sure that person also doesn't know what sexual harassment is either. I mean, as far as I know, the term sexual defines an interaction of a sexual nature. Like, I would say walking up to a person and saying, "Can I see your underwear?" could be construed as verbal sexual assault. Now, listen to the words I'm using carefully. I use the word assault because assault defines a singular instant. You see, it's a one event. Harassment, as I said before, implies repeated offense.
Are you sure you don't want to become a lawyer at this point? Because
Definitely
you
not.
almost sound like.
And yeah, also to even give the whole thing more background, the SJW was actually upset because the TV reporters were interviewing a token white person that, of course, shared the views of the bad people. Then later on during the video, she asked actually the camera people, and she was like, "Yeah, we are actually interviewing other people." Then she was, "Oh yeah, yeah, great." Just like shrugging it off as if it was nothing.
And the actual
Yeah.
topic, the topic that she was upset about not being interviewed about, apparently they are building a new police station, and they are calling it the Bunker,
Mhm.
or at least that's the name. It's gotten colloquially, and this is a bad thing because building more police stations to house more police forces more comfortably is tantamount to killing black people, because that's what the police do. They kill black people.
Mhm.
That's all they
Okay.
do.
Yeah, they do nothing else. All
Exactly.
they're ever
That
concerned with
reminds
is
me,
killing
talking
all the
about
black.
police stations. I don't know where it happened, but it definitely happened. I saw a picture.
Oh.
There was a Black Lives Matter protest at some police station, and
Mhm.
they demanded that 50% of the uh, grants or finances, I guess, for the police station should go to Black Lives Matter accounts,
Of course,
obviously,
of course. Yeah.
because cops don't need that money to have those guns and cars and just roll over some black
No,
people.
no, no, no. They
And
don't
those
need
Yeah.
any of that.
So they were protesting like this, and they took those U-shaped bike locks,
ugh,
yeah, and
yeah,
locked their necks to the door.
that's just asking to get your neck broken by accident.
Yes.
Another great thing about Black Lives Matter is I did recently. I don't think we mentioned this last week or the week before. They decided to shut down London Heathrow Airport
No, it was
because
actually London City Airport.
okay, but
But
either
yeah,
way,
still.
they shut down the airport because airplanes are racist.
Yep, because as they put it, the pollution disproportionately affects working class, poor black people. Because
Yes.
there's no white people that are poor that live in the UK whatsoever. They
Yeah,
don't
because-
exist.
For some unrelated reasons, the planes and airports are near the poor areas at the edge of the cities. And for some also unrelated reasons, probably the patriarchal oppression of black people, however that makes sense or not, the poor areas are overwhelmingly inhabited by black people.
That actually seems odd for the UK, because well, I suppose there probably are a lot of black immigrants from Africa.
I don't know.
And,
It's what a Black Lives Matter person said.
that is true. A Black Lives Matter person did say that, so it must be true. But yeah, they were protesting Black Lives Matter in England, a country where the most dangerous weapons the police carry is a taser.
And where they also say please when they are about to tase you. It's like, do you understand? No. Can I tase you, please? No. Well, I'm sorry, but I have to tase you anyway.
I
Don't
did-
do that.
I
Well, I'm
did
gonna do it
also-
anyway. And then they tase you, maybe.
I did also hear that there was a Black Lives Matter protest in Dublin. What was it about? I'm gonna need to check.
I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I know this one. I know this one. They
I
were
have to
protesting.
ask-
Let me speak. Come on. They were
Okay.
protesting Guinness because Guinness is racist.
No, I have to ask one people. Dublin, that's in Ireland. How do you even have any black people there?
We have a few, but it's Ireland. The Irish police, the Black Lives Matter is supposed to be about systematic oppression by the police on the lower classes, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's in Ireland. The Irish police barely even attempt to enforce law, let alone murder people on the streets.
Well, that's true, because if they attempt to enforce law, they get shot.
That's true too. The Irish police are very friendly and nice, and very bad at doing their job.
Well, it's because they are
No, I was
more poorly equipped than the terrorists.
yeah.
They
I
are.
was just walking around in Ireland, and I was like, they'll just grab this can of soda. No, better yet, I'll just walk into this bank, get his money. So I walked in there, just grabbed a big bag of money, and the police were like, "Can you please not do that?" I'm like, "Fuck off." They're like, "Oh dear, I'm sorry we offended you."
Well, no, we actually
Okay.
do have a solution for that problem. All the Irish banks now have an airlock bulletproof door. So you walk into the door, you have to press a button, then the door locks behind you and the door in front of you unlocks. So if you attempt to rob the bank and then try to go out the door, they just press the lock button. And then you and everyone in the bank is trapped in there till the police arrive. Because it's the only exit.
But yeah, then I'm like, "You're arresting me,"
Clever.
and they'll just let me go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding, of course.
But it's like a 2-inch thick plexiglass door that bullets probably won't go through. So you're kind of stuck. I've never seen them use the alarm on those doors. I'm pretty sure anyone who's got like 2 cents of education would walk into that and realize, do you know what? This is not a good place for a hit and run style bank robbery.
I don't think bank robbers have much intelligence.
Yeah, and most banks don't even carry a lot of money anymore.
Nope.
So
would you?
digital.
Yeah, like I said, it's all digital. Like the vast majority of wealth on this planet is digital these days. I think only like 10% of all wealth on this planet is actually expressed in cash money. The rest is all just digital.
Yeah, you just reminded me of a thing. I met an old friend from the school today, and she said that she likes credit cards because she's never quite sure how much money she has on it. So it's like a gamble for her.
Right. So the good thing about having a means of payment in which
It brings an excitement to her life.
That's sad. That's so incredibly sad. Yeah, I'm here at the grocery store. I'm going to buy my groceries. I'm in line, and then I ring up my items, and the cashier's like, "Fuck off! We don't accept credit cards here."
I have to say, Artrix, that she had enough money on the card to buy shoes.
That's
You know
nice.
the greatest thing is about the things that have happened because of Black Lives Matter, and this is possibly the greatest thing to come out of it. A lot of police in America have been forced to wear body cams now.
Oh, yes, indeed.
And now it's coming. Now the police are just like, well, because we had a body cam, now we can see that this black person pulled out 12 revolvers at once and started shooting at us. So we had to shoot back because they were a danger to us and others. And it's great because it's just increased the amount of evidence at hand for the police to actually say, hey, actually, our use of force was justified in several situations since. Although it doesn't explain that event where a policeman decided to shoot a therapist who was sitting in the middle of a road with an autistic boy.
He didn't like potatoes.
That was the strangest news that came out recently, and I cannot excuse it at all. Like, there was this autistic boy sitting in the middle of the road, and a psychologist or some kind of therapist who happened to be a black guy went into the middle of the road and sat down with the boy, and he was trying to talk him out of the road. The kid wasn't even doing anything. He was just like autistic. So he's just sitting there being a retard in the middle of the street. And this psychologist went out to try to deal with this situation. And someone called the police, and a policeman came, and he saw a big old black guy sitting in the middle of the street, and he who did actually have his hands up, and he decided to shoot him.
Well, obviously he was in the process of kidnapping and raping the autist.
Yeah, that sounds appropriate.
Isn't that where the Autist Lives Matter thing comes from? All these hashtags with some variation of autism.
Oh yeah, the feminism for autism or something
yeah.
like that.
Oh God. But the autist didn't get shot. It was a black guy.
So I would have to make case for the autists, like the autist rights movement is just being co-opted by non-autistic people.
Of course.
Yeah, it's like with the Black Lives Matter when lots of rich white kids are protesting, and then there's
in the
concerns
Netherlands.
that they are co-opting Black Lives Matter for environmental causes.
Yeah, like the
yeah,
protests in London City Airport. They were all white people, and not just white people, but
Well,
like
apparently
richer
white people-
upper class people.
But they had a black leader
Don't
somewhere.
you know? See, the white people have to be the ones who take responsibility and suffer, which is why they put the white people in the middle of the runway at Heathrow or London Central. I'm still not sure how a bunch of people managed to get onto an airport runway. They're supposed to be high security areas.
I don't know. I recently saw a news about a drunk cyclist on a runway.
But Panboy, these were all white people, so obviously, you know, if social justice is to go by, they have privilege and they can just go anywhere. It's like, where do you think you're going? And then the guy's like, I'm white and male. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry that I, was a bother to you. Just go.
But all this social justice these days, it's so retarded. I think these people who are in all these social justice causes need to go and earn their right to vote. They need to be slapped into a military uniform and sent to Syria, and then they can spread social justice to people who really need it.
I am pretty sure they would shoot themselves before they even arrived.
But they want to spread social justice. Syria's in desperate need of actual reforms, and they could actually change some things with a sword rather than a pen.
Yeah, but
yeah, we should just give them all swords.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, but the social justice warriors, they want to change the world, but they want to do all the stuff without putting themselves into any real danger.
Yeah, they just want to send other people into war.
Yeah.
Why would you go to war? War is just oppressing the locals.
It's true.
It's very toxic
I agree.
and problematic.
All the depleted uranium shells are pretty toxic.
Indeed.
Oh wait, you meant sociologically toxic. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you kind of have to, make the distinction these days.
I wonder when they are going to make a snappy nickname for a war like men fighting.
God. Oh, it was great. I read the silliest post on the internet. So it was like, when have women ever sent everyone off to war? It's only men that start the fights. And then someone posted a historical document that showed all the wars started by European queens. And while in power, European queens started about 5 times more wars than men.
You don't even have to look at ancient history. It happened recently, even within my lifetime. I mean, Thatcher was like, Argentina's kind of being a dick. Like, I'm just gonna send these men over to take care of it. So see that? And then Argentina was kind of like, Fug, with a G, of course. So we're like all the Spardo dogs before it was even a thing. and then they warred a little bit.
Yeah, they were just like, we don't like this country anymore. Send in the navy.
Well, that's how USA does it.
And then Argentina was kind of reminded that Great Britain is kind of great.
Well, it's not so great now.
Not so great anymore, but they're still great.
They've decommissioned all their boats. They joined Europe, and now Europe's
They
all
left Europe.
yeah, they left Europe. Now they're going to start building boats again for some reason.
Yeah, they have to be careful though, because if they make their boats too big, then they'll go all the way across the English Channel, and then we'd have, instead of having a tunnel, we'd also have a land bridge that goes from France to
Obviously
England.
now after Brexit they have one giant boat, just the island. That's the boat.
Just dig up the whole country and make it float away.
Yeah,
Exactly. Just build some turrets on the coast and just let it It flowed away.
Yeah.
So America's like, yeah, look at our penis extension. I mean, our big battleship. And then the entire UK comes along and like, well, we're the battleship. What are you gonna do now?
We're on a boat. We are the boat.
Mhm. It
God.
does come with its own set of problems though, because
Also, apparently the British economy is up right now because of the low pound for some reason.
the cheap
It's-
pound
it's
is,
a- it's
is
almost-
increasing business.
Yes, it's almost like low pound has stimulated the economy by bringing the ability to be a competition to all the low-paying countries. Huh.
Interesting.
That is pretty top khaki.
Apparently, there I don't know what the index was. Some economical
Well, it's
financial
currently
thing.
about €1.18 for pound.
Yeah. I don't mean the convention rates. Like the international economic index stuff. Apparently, it's been higher than it was ever in the last 10 years.
Oh well, I guess Brexit really did hurt the English economy.
Yep.
Well,
On
especially
the other hand, our currency is still artificially held low.
Oh, you should probably fix that.
Yes, we should hang all those bankers.
Hmm. Just go into the financial center and set it on fire, like what happened in Fight Club.
Oh, that's a valid thing to do.
so do it now. Just go to Prague and fix that. We can wait.
You just need
You
to
can do it.
you just
You
need to
can
find a
do it.
bunch of fat people and turn their fat into human-powered explosive.
Oh,
See, that's what they got the glycerin in Fight Club from human fat. It was a plot point. I think I remember.
Mhm.
Not
Yeah,
sure where they got
I-
the nitro.
I distinctly remember talking about. I remember them talking about soap.
Yes, made of human fat.
Excellent.
Because soap is made from fats.
Yes,
Yes. And it was weird.
so was the movie.
That was a pretty strange movie.
We had Brad Pitt.
It did.
That qualifies it for a strange movie.
Wait, or did it?
Yeah, that's the best part about it. It was a movie with a Brad Pitt that didn't suck.
His penis was in it though.
Ah,
I mean, it was cut into a few frames at the beginning of the movie, just randomly, because apparently that's something he did for fun.
yeah, it was in the spirit of the movie.
Mm-hmm. You know, that kind of subliminal advertising never actually worked.
It was an advertisement for Brad Pitt's dick.
Yes.
Well, that is something that needs advertising, you know.
I'm not actually sure if he does need to advertise that. I'm pretty sure he can just like go out into the street and say, "Hey, bitches, I'm Brad Pitt," and then he gets some punani.
Yeah, but still, you know, you gotta let the world know that it's available.
Well, yeah.
You know, even when you are Brad Pitt, you kind of need to let the world know, sort of.
Yeah, it's like if you ever see this dick, you know it's attached to Brad Pitt.
Yes. You need to confirm that too. You know, if you just see the dick, you still need to know whether it's Brad Pitt's. You know, you can never be too careful.
Yeah, well, that's one way to boost searches for Brad Pitt's dick.
Exactly. You know, you can even make it like a global game. It's like, who can find Brad Pitt's dick?
I wonder how many fake Brad Pitt dicks there are out there.
Exactly. That's a great way to flood the world with fake Brad Pitt dick pics.
And then you'd cause a Brad Pitt dick pics inflation.
Yep. You know the economy's in the shitter when a Brad Pitt dick pic is only worth 6,000 regular dick pics. Yeah, that's that's a problem. You can have that kind of inflation. That would really hurt the dick pic economy.
Yeah, it's like with Pepe's.
Exactly. Also,
You got-
apparently, yes, Pepe's are a
Yeah.
white supremacist icon now, The left media has told me.
It's true.
Yeah.
Anyone who posts Pepe on the internet is obviously a Nazi.
Yep.
Yes. They are
Okay.
white supremacist memes. I mean, Hillary said that it has to be true.
Okay.
I believe everything Hillary says, and never doubt a word.
She is very trustworthy.
That was a very tactfully, constructed speech. Like that didn't backfire whatsoever. It was not like she was like, yeah, Pepe is a white nationalist meme thing, and Trump. The half of Trump supporters are all deplorable people, and then Trump was like, "Lol." She implies that you are all deplorable. You're never going to vote for him.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck, Hillary? That's just.
Good job insulting half your country.
Just wait until she hears about meme magic.
I don't think Trump has ever outwardly went and said horrible things about the constituents of this country. He's never went up to the thing and said, hey, everyone who ever posts this picture of I don't
cartoon
know.
frog.
No, a different
Something
one.
else.
Has to be
Yeah.
anyone who's ever said over 9,000 is obviously a communist.
or anyone who ever posted a troll face.
Oh, yeah. Trump doesn't
Or-
do that. He's not. If he's talking shit about people, he's not doing directly. He's like, some people in charge are not doing something properly, and I'm going to change it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he doesn't say half the demographic of the country is Nazis.
Well, it's more like a quarter because Hillary's quote kind of implied that half of all the people voting Republican are deplorable people. And seeing as
Yeah.
count is kind of split 50-50, that implies
Just
if
even better for
25%.
Trump. Because
Yes.
he could point at the people around him and like, she
Well,
says that
it is-
you are deplorable people.
Yeah, and also yes, it does imply 50% because whom of the 50% are the deplorable people? Because it's such a
Let's be
vague-
honest, it's probably us.
She would probably describe us as being deplorable people just because we don't agree with her.
Look, I have never once posted any kind of meme.
Me neither.
True.
I've never posted a Pepe drawing. I can draw one right now.
You should.
So
And
that's also what I'm going to close today's episode on. So
Yes.
I'm just gonna go and hide this, and I'm going to draw one of these deplorable memes.
don't forget
From
all
memory.
the don't forget all the Nazi symbology. You need to get a swastika in there, and the Iron Cross they like so much,
Yes.
and
And the two lightning signs.
mhm.
Yes.
And what's the other one? An eagle.
And the Spear of Destiny.
What's it? Maybe the rising sun flag as well.
Yeah.
I have no clue whether I'm doing this right.
The thing about the neo-Nazi sun symbol is it's not actually a Nordic symbol. That's Celtic.
Oh yeah, the Celtic cross. Yeah.
No, not the cross. The sun.
It's a really fucking classy Pepe because he's wearing a shirt.
I think neo-Nazis are at this point just taking random symbols and thinking they are somehow connected to, I don't know what they are even doing. Racist supremacy, I guess.
I mean, look at this racist frog. Look at how racist he's being.
Don't forget Trump's toupee.
That reminds
Yeah,
me,
of course.
while we were shopping for the shoes, there was also clothes. And the clothes hangers had the exact shape of a swastika. They looked just right.
GG.
Yeah.
Look at this.
It provided me
supremacist
great
meme.
amusement. Yes, I'm looking at Artrix.
Hey, you're not watching the stream, you know. Don't
I'm
worry.
not.
I don't know.
Or is he?
Maybe you're looking in secret. But yeah, look at that Pepe being all Pepe and
He is
Trumpy.
the most Pepe.
Pepe.
Okay, well he's Trump. I'll just give him a suit. Strap.
It's very nice of you.
Oh well, that happened.
But you're lacking a lot of symbology. I don't see a single swastika.
But Panboy, I don't want to miss out on the 0.2 cents we'll get from the advertising revenue because
And don't forget about the Confederate flag.
Oh yeah, that they're Nazis too, apparently.
Oh, talking about things that are going to strip us of our hard-earned revenue of 2 cents. I noticed that lately, the leading search engine in our republic and its news section are publishing news about Muslims and about their clothing. And in each of the articles, there's a chart of the different types of trash bags they wear. Coincidence?
Oh, that reminds me of something we must touch on before we end.
Okay.
Yes?
Okay, you all know what AdBlock Plus is, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
It's a piece of
Yep.
software that makes ads not happen on your computer. Now, I will point something out before I mention what's happening now, but it's always been in the description of this particular application that they only remove the most obnoxious ads, which has always been a complete and utter lie, because they just remove all the ads. They've never actually attempted to filter ads for being obnoxious.
It's
They just
because
turn them
all
off.
of the ads are the most obnoxious.
But now they're actually going to start adding ads to that whitelist if companies pay them.
In other words, it's gonna make it entirely redundant.
Yes, AdBlock Plus is going to start letting people buy ads that will be shown through AdBlock Plus, which kind of defeats the entire purpose, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we just
just-
have to wait for someone else to come along and offer ad blocker that
Basically,
doesn't.
you're gonna end up with what Google Ads is doing. It's like when you close it, they're like, "You don't like this ad? Would you like another ad?"
What's that?
That's even
What's
worse.
that? You want another ad? No,
Yeah.
I'm good. Oh,
Should-
sounds
should-
like one another ad.
Should we display an ad that you like more?
That's
That's what they are doing.
You like this ad from this company, so here have a similar ad. I don't want any ads.
Yeah, I never would have used AdBlock Plus if it wasn't for ads that played audio.
Indeed.
It's that simple. If the ads, and maybe those 10-minute or 1.5 hour YouTube ads that happen sometimes.
Those are very annoying.
I once saw an entire movie as an ad.
Like I want
did
to
not watch
watch a 30-second YouTube video, and then it's like, yeah, but you have to watch an ad of equal size.
Or you can watch a 2.5 minute song of some beginning pop star that thought it would be great to pay for the ad space to just advertise their song.
Mm-hmm.
So they
I think-
just they just put their entire song up as an ad.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you
I
don't have the option of not listening to their crap. It's like,
Those people are even more pathetic than the normal pop stars.
But yeah, the fact that the YouTube system allows an ad that's more than 10 seconds long, let alone minutes or hours, it's like, what? Why would you do this, YouTube?
because they want money, and they also want the content to be advertiser friendly. Which
Especially when
we are so advertiser friendly. YouTube, you wouldn't even know.
But I before I installed the ad block, I once saw an ad from a Let's Player that was full of foul mountedness. I was like, wait, does this ad count as advertiser friendly? What? What's even going on?
Yeah, that's also the funny thing. Like the advertisers want quote ad friendly videos, but the most popular videos are videos in which the person swears, a lot and
Yeah,
does the exact opposite of what the
Or
advertisers want.
screams like a little girl.
like PewDiePie, literally the most popular YouTube channel, was under fire for making rape jokes by social justice warriors. How
Yeah.
exactly is that advertiser friendly?
He's not that foul-mouthed.
Well-
He just screams like a little girl, and then, well, yeah.
Also, what
That's all
social
Swedes
justice
can do these
warriors
days.
find, unacceptable is not necessarily what advertisers find unacceptable.
Well,
if a video gets a shit ton of views, I think a lot of advertisers are way more lenient than channel
But
like
that's
ours.
but that's the thing. That's the thing. You don't know if it's going to get views when it's put up. And the way the YouTube algorithm works at the moment is it looks at your algorithm and immediately displays, or it looks at your description and tags, and will demonetize your video and not put ads on it immediately.
Yeah, like our videos talking about the Paris attacks, those are demonetized because
Yes.
YouTube is like, yeah, we're not touching on that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Way too fucking controversial. And then we, miss out on the 0.00002 cents that you might have gotten if.
But yeah, that's the thing. That's like nobody actually checks to see if the videos would actually be offensive to an advertiser. It all happens automatically.
Mhm.
So really, it's a bad system.
It is, and it's really hard to get in touch with an actual human being on YouTube. So
It also-
one need,
It hurts the advertisers too. Because
Yeah,
if a really
yes.
popular video does go up that would have had 1 million ad views, but it's been demonetized because
Yeah.
you said suicide in the tag.
yeah. What if I'm a white supremacist
Another
organization?
thing to
and
think
I
about
want
ads, Panboy, is tags, is that they are not even visible anymore. They're just
No.
used by the search algorithms, but unless you click into the source code of the page, you don't see them.
Yeah, but it's the tags and the description. So if say Branson, the guy who owns Virgin, decided he was going to buy like an awful company that was going to sink all his cash, and you put up a video that says Richard Branson commits career suicide in the tags, you're like, that would be demonetized. But that would you be reporting on current events.
Well, suicide is a very scary word that could kill you, obviously.
But yeah, it's just the algorithm has no sense of context or anything.
it's just YouTube covering their asses.
Well, it's
Because
like
God forbid someone gets offended.
it's like the old saying: "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will send me into years-long PTSD."
Mhm.
Yes.
And better yet, even ads aren't advertiser friendly. Someone put up an ad in the UK market recently, which is a scantily clad lingerie model on someone's lap, and
Oh.
yeah, people have complained that it's too sexy.
That's gonna stoke some fire.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
The
they
fire
should
rises.
definitely not move to the continent because we have a lot of those ads and no one fucking cares.
Nobody actually cares here either. It's this bizarre virtual signaling, I would say, from oversensitive people, yeah, who seem to think the best way to move forward in society is just to complain about everything.
Mhm. Being on the subway and walking up to a guy with a measuring tape and then measure the amount of space between their legs, that's really going to, progress society.
But
It's
you
going
have to make sure he identifies as a male, because
Oh yeah,
otherwise
no,
it's a
of
rape.
course. Oh, well, you've given me the perfect excuse. When a feminazi nist walks up to me and is like, "You're manspreading," I'll just be like, "I identify as a non-binary entity that happens to look and act and be exactly
That
like a man,
happens
but
to have a
I'm-
goatee.
and happens to have a goatee, but I'm non-binary." So
It's a
fuck off.
non-binary goatee.
Well, that's the thing. If someone does run up to you and try to manipulate the rules like that, do exactly that. Say all those things at them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then watch as they break.
Oh, they won't break. They'll know you're big
No,
as
no.
shit.
Mhm.
But then you can still look at them and say, "Well, I can sue you for sexual harassment."
And since
Since-
since I stated I'm not a man.
Yeah, I was like, "What? You're sexually assaulting me? This is rape. Go away." Oh, you're not taking no for an answer? Are you still trying to measure my legs? Well, this is self-defense, you say, as you pull the pole down from the roof and smack them with it repeatedly. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't think I would actually have the strength to pull the safety poles off a train. I may have been slightly exaggerating my own prowess.
Yes, you are too tiny to do that.
It's true. In fact, I think there are very few people out there who can pull safety poles down from public transport. This is why you should always carry a safety pole in your handbag at all times. Just
For that
self-defense tips.
specific situation.
Yes. Well, a 10-inch flashlight works pretty well.
Mm.
You know, the big ones that take the D batteries, the night swats, the night watch flashlights.
Or one of those LED flashlights that, you know, do the same thing, but they last for, I don't know, 6 days.
Artrix.
The what now?
The entire point in using the big old flashlight is it takes 6D batteries, which means it's 1.5 feet long, and it's made of metal.
Yeah, but so is the LED one. It's just more useful.
It's tiny. The LED ones are
No,
tiny.
no. You don't. You put the same amount of batteries in there, but you know, it's LED. So it's just as heavy, just as deadly, but you know it's LED. So it's also, you know, you can get more light out of it. It's a win-win.
And see, the great thing about a flashlight is it doesn't qualify as a weapon.
That too. So, you know, that's my, yeah.
Oh, and even banned zombie knives. Because they have green handles.
And that's a problem. Why?
Because why?
Because decorative knives encourage violence and knife crime?
Oh, I thought it was green, which means that it's an army knife.
Wasn't there a marketing campaign completely, you know, based on the notion that zombies can exist, even though
No,
it's
they're
just for laughs?
Yes, it is. These knives are just made for laughs, and none of them look practical apart from a few of them. They're all retarded zombie knives, and they've been banned because one kid decided, do you know what, I'm going to rob that store, and the knife I'm going to use is a zombie knife.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can do it with any knife.
Yes.
That's the whole problem with knives. You know, you can use them as weapons, but you kind of need them for cooking.
I guess that zombies promote robbing stores.
Obviously, yes.
Anyways, ladies and...
I mean, what's the first thing you do when there's a zombie apocalypse? You rob a store.
Yes.
Well,
But you don't rob it because the store is already zombified, so in that case you just plunder
yeah.
it.
Okay, you kill the zombies and rob the store, not exactly in that order. Necessarily.
Rabies, bro.
Yes.
Anyways, ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between, this was
And
yet
non-binary
another...
goatee bearers.
In that too. There was another episode of Radio Rothingham, the least professional podcast on the internet, etc, etc.
We did not have Astra.
We did not have A and Astra. Instead we have A and Back.
That's me.
That's him.
That's him.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little episode, whatevs.
I sure didn't.
Also, don't forget to click the link in the video description to see whatever the hell this is I'm drawing.
Whatever is going to be in the description. He doesn't know yet.
I don't know yet. It's something that we'll see in the future. The faraway future. Anyway, that's it. Let's see the next episode, I guess.
It's game over, man. It's game over.
Game over, man. Game over.
It's 2016.
Future.
Well, you know what? It's only like 5 more months, and then it's 2017.
That's current year plus one.
We're almost gonna be not in the current year anymore.
Current year plus.
Exactly. Scared.